And we are live with the ding of a bell. We have begun the show. Welcome back. It's been a while, folks. We've been gone on hiatus. We had an episode, or supposed triumphant return earlier this year, but it's been hard to get the podcast scheduled. But we're back now on a weekly basis, and we're going to be here talking with you fine folks about comics, pop culture, and everything else that's on our minds. And each week we're going to have a rotating cast. I am Michael. I'm one of the co-founders of Wikid Publishing. We'll be joined shortly by the co-founder of Wikid Publishing, the other co-founder, Matt. And the two of us will be the hosts of the podcast going forward. And we'll be the two people who will pretty much always be on the podcast every week. And then we'll be joined by a rotating cast of comic book creators, mostly from the Wikid lineup that we publish, such as our fine creators here, who we'll introduce in a moment. But we'll also hopefully be opening it up and maybe having other people on, having guest creators on and guest people to come on and talk with us and hang out. And that'll be something brand new for the new format. And so yeah, we're hoping you'll join us on this new weekly format. And without further ado, why don't we introduce the other two creators that have joined us for this afternoon? And start with you, Michael. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's nice to be back on the show. It's been, it feels like it's been a really long time since I did this.
Definitely. Oh yeah, for real. Way too
But
long.
I'm looking forward to the episode here, and I plan to be back as often as I can.
I appreciate that, man. And we also got Matt, another Matt, not Matt the co-founder, but this one's a creator of Wikid Publishing and other comics out there as well. Why don't you introduce yourself, Matt?
Hi, I'm Matt. I created Panic Chronicles and also one of the co-founders of the Mythoverse.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, man. We were just talking a little bit before we went live. I think we were talking about movies and different things. Do you remember, Mike, what we were talking about?
Well,
horror movies.
Before we came on, we talked a little bit about horror movies. But the discussion we were having just before we came on was whether or not, like, if you're gonna introduce someone to Star Wars the very first time, they don't know anything about it. Where do you start them? Do you start them with how Lucas started it out with 4, 5, and 6, or do you go back to the prequels and have them kind of watch it chronologically?
Yes, which is a great question. I always debate that in my head, you know.
I would just cut out the prequels.
Ouch.
I actually like
the prequels. I'm a fan because I like the world building that they do a lot, you know.
Well, there are some things that I really don't like about the prequels, such as Darth Vader killing the younglings.
Come on, everybody likes that part. No.
When you're trying to present a villain who is redeemable, killing children is a bit of a problem for that.
I feel like that begs the question, though, if Darth Vader is a hero that is, or I mean, is a villain that is redeemable. You know, I'm not sure that he is a hero or villain.
Well, he gets redeemed at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Only through death, though.
You know how Luke gets his father's saber?
Huh?
You know how Luke gets his father's lightsaber from Obi-Wan?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I have heard people refer to that as the Youngling Slayer 5000.
Oh, so brutal. Not the younglings, dude. Oh man, he went ham on them for sure. I think the first red flag was when he was, he killed all those sand people. I mean, that was a big red flag for me. I don't know about you guys, but I was like, yeah, that seems problematic.
That was definitely where he crossed the line initially, but that was based on vengeance. He hated them
right,
for
anger.
what they did to his mother. Right. Whereas I think when he really turned, when he went to the point where he was killing younglings, it was all about his pursuit of trying to save Padme.
That's fair. It was all. I mean, that's right. That is true. That is what they posited as a blind rage and being scared of losing what you have, right? That can lead you.
Right.
I think that's a big part of the philosophy right behind that. So
Yeah, it
I guess I like a lot of the themes. And then I'm talking about like I do like a lot of the themes, and I think the third movie in the trilogy kind of really brings it all together pretty nicely.
Oh yeah, Revenge of the Sith is definitely the better of the three.
For sure, yeah. I think they each get better. Like I think the first one is the worst. I think the second one is a little bit better, and then the third one's the best out of the three.
For sure, I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Matt? You just
He just
totally
wants to
like
burn
never
them all.
watched them all together, or?
Well, I definitely say that I think one is the most ambitious because he's trying to show a bigger universe. Two was pretty boring. There's a lot of filler.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that. The battles are really cool, though. I love the battles in number 2. I like Attack of the Clones, and that spawned a lot of the cool spin-off material. Like the Clone Wars cartoon with Genndy Tartakovsky.
I rank. Obviously, we're going with 4, 5, and 6 are the best ones out of the franchise. But I would rank the Clone Wars right up there with those 3. I really loved the Clone Wars series. That was awesome,
so good,
and the finale with the big battle between Darth Maul and Ahsoka.
Now, are you talking about? No, that's interesting. Are you talking about which Clone Wars are you talking about? Now that I think about it,
the Clone Wars, the series. It was like
there's
5
2
or 6
series.
Seasons. No, there's a Clone Wars movie.
I thought
there's a Clone Wars movie that starts it out, and then there's the Clone
no.
Wars,
I'm talking about the
series.
old school Genndy Tartakovsky 2D animation series.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even get into that. I really
you're kidding me.
It felt the anime, like the whole thing where the dude, he would go up to fight, and
you're gonna
what really happened was the guy's arm just spins around.
You're gonna tell me you've never seen Samurai Jack?
No.
Oh my god! Now I get to take one away. Your nerd cards. Finally, it's my turn. Go do yourself a favor and watch Samurai Jack at some point. One of the greatest cartoons ever made, man. I'm telling you.
And it's 2D animation.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The thing about the Clone Wars thing that you're talking about there is that I actually really like the story, but loathe the animation.
Huh? Do you know why?
It came across as really cheesy to me. Like it seems childlike, like a children's show or something.
Oh well, it is. It is. I mean, I guess it's not technically a children's show, but it is aimed at a younger audience. I mean, that's kind of like his thing. His style usually is aimed at a younger audience, but using adult themes and a lot of really good adult storytelling to kind of, I would say, walk the line of being a kid show and adult show. The new season of Samurai Jack, he just went full adult show. Like it's like, okay, it's M for the last season, but for the most part, that is kind of the style of the original show as well, I would say.
I think the final season was just so delayed that all of the original audience were adults by then.
Yeah, so they're like, we can do that, But yeah, you're right, and I can understand that not being for you. That's a fair criticism if that's not your style,
Right, I'm not. I'm not trying to say that it's bad. When I dislike something, I'm never trying to say that it sucks. I'm just saying it's just not for me. I don't personally like it.
Fair. That's fair, man.
Because I'm not trying to tell other people that what they don't like is bad. That's
right.
That's not my place, and it's not what I'm trying to do.
Just saying, it's not for you. It's not your cup of tea. Hey Matt, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Going good. Sorry, I'm a little late, guys. I got called into work, so I had to switch a lot of my plans up. So
I bet.
It took a moment.
I bet, man. We appreciate you making some time to join us, man.
Hey, no problem. No problem.
And I already gave your introduction as well.
One time I thought it was my day off, and apparently it wasn't. But this was in my 20s, and I drank enough in my 20s to get the whole Butte County drunk. So I was already drinking when they called.
Oh man, I've never had that happen before. Wow, that's so doozy. Jeez, what do you even do in that moment? Like,
I went down to the coffee shop. I had like 4 double espressos.
Let me sober up for a moment here.
Yeah, and I just tried to rough it through. And boy, drinking the espressos was actually the worst idea.
Yeah, not only are you drunk, you're wired. That's the whole reason they got rid of Four Loko, man.
You're like, I gotta get out of here, dude.
Yeah. They even tracked me down at my friend's house to get me. They really needed me there. There was no getting out of that.
Oh, jeez. Hey, at least you weren't fired. A lot of places will just fire you on the spot.
Well, they probably didn't know you were drunk, right?
I warned them I was drunk. I said, I've been drinking already. I didn't say I was drunk, but I said I'd been drinking, and they wanted me in anyway. I worked in the back in the grill, so it didn't matter anyway. But it's not like I had to interact with customers or anything.
Okay, that's good.
At least, man. Yeah, that's definitely that would be tough for me to handle, man. I've only ever been, not hopefully this isn't like gonna get me in trouble or something, but I've only ever been like, and I don't want to say drunk, but I only had a drink while working one time. I went to a restaurant on lunch break, and it was a job I'd only been working for less than a week, but I was already getting pissed at the job, and then I was like, yeah, this kind of sucks. I don't really like this. It's like I'm just kind of tired. I don't really want to do any work now. It's like, yeah, don't recommend it. Don't, you know?
I don't imagine that.
Yeah. It's always best to wait until after everything for you to start drinking. You know, you've been to the store, you made dinner, maybe have a drink with dinner. If not, you can have one later. Just don't have one while you go to work. Oh man, yeah. I remember staying over at my uncle's house the year I graduated, and him, my dad, and one of my buddies. We all got together and hung out, and we drank for the night and everything. That morning, my dad and my uncle still had to go to work, and my uncle just opens up his fridge, grabs one of his Miller Lights, cracks a cold one, and then chugs it down. And I'm like half asleep, like, there's no way I'm seeing that right. Getting ready to go to fucking work, and he's opening a cold one. What the fuck? And I asked my dad, and I'm like, is that real? He's like, oh yeah, it's real. It does it every day. I'm like, oh no. Fuck. He's like, buddy. Yeah, and I'm the one that works with them, so wish me luck.
I had a roommate that drank scotch in the morning before he went to work.
Oh God. Well, you know, it's funny. It reminds me of this fun fact. I don't know if it's fun or fact or not, but it's a fact that George Washington used to supply his soldiers with like a shot of whiskey, I think it was, or some sort of hard liquor every morning to keep their spirits up.
To keep their spirits up. Was that a pun?
Yeah, there you go. Unintentional, but yeah, definitely.
My spirits are low. I'm gonna need a drink. That's funny.
But yeah, do you guys drink much, or are you guys?
I don't actually. I basically, if I'm gonna drink, it's because I'm somewhere and somebody offered me like a beer or something, and I don't want to be rude. But I'm just not a drinker, really.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the exact same way. The only time I can sit there and say that I actually kind of turned into a little bit of a drinker, but it was still more or less on my rules. Like, I didn't have no more than 2 bottles a day, and that's even if I did drink that day, kind of thing. But just recently, when I was in Texas, because I ain't used to Texas, kind of thing, I ain't used to being out of California very often, so I needed something to kind of hold me over. So I got me. During that time, I ended up drinking less than 12 beers. But for me, I was like, damn. If I was an alcoholic, that'd be times 2 or 3 of that. Thank God I'm the way I am.
I got a question for you. I'm more of like a whiskey drinker. I can drink a crap ton of whiskey, but if I drink like 2 or 3, and I mean a crap ton. Back in my drinking days, I could do about 3/4 of a fifth of whiskey myself.
Damn.
So, but if I'm Irish, we kind of come to it naturally.
yeah, that's very natural for us. I get that.
You came to it honestly.
If I drink like just a couple of beers, I start getting tired. If I drink 3, I gotta take a nap. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Beer makes me tired. Is it that way for you?
It's the yeast instead of the beers a lot of time, or if you're drinking hard ciders, it's all the sugar inside of it. Because your body will produce sugar from yeast, and of course, like fruits and stuff like that, are processed into sugars. So the reason why you most likely need to feel like you need to take a nap or something is because your body's producing all this sugar from this shit, and the drunkenness is already starting to wear off if it's only 2, 3, and me personally, I don't get tired. I start getting stomach aches, and that's why I choose not to drink so much. It just kills my stomach, so I just say, I'm okay off of this now. But
I don't have any of this problem.
I honestly think it's because I don't. Growing up, I didn't drink that much. I wasn't that much of a partier or anything. Even once when I turned 21, I bought a 24-pack for me and my buddy over in Reno, and that was it. We didn't party or anything like that. But continuing on, I do think the reason for the tiredness is because you're overloading your body with a bunch of sugar, so it's just getting really fucking tired. But that makes a lot of sense, because when you drink hard liquor, you don't usually get tired.
Nah.
Not unless you drink too much. I mean,
well, that's a different reason, though. It's not your body processing a bunch of sugar, and then it's like, all right, dude, let's crash.
Just check this out. I once got a DUI. I blew a .38 and passed the field sobriety test.
Damn.
The guy told me that the only reason he was able to arrest me is because I admitted that I was drinking and I smelled like a whiskey factory.
Damn. Jeez, dude.
That actually kind of
screwed yourself there.
That
I can't believe you. I couldn't even pass the sobriety test when I was sober.
Oh wow.
Those are actually designed to kind of mess you up.
They're difficult, man. The one that messed me up the most was the nose one. They're like, touch your finger, close your eyes, and hold out your hand, and then bring your hand close to your face, and then touch your finger to your nose without looking. I'm like, bro, I can't find my nose if I'm not looking. It's as weird as that is to say. It's like I kept missing it by like an inch, like not even an inch, like half an inch, like barely not touching the tip of my nose. And they're like, yeah, we could totally get you on this.
Yeah,
because that's what they're designed for. That's exactly what they're designed for. One of my old buddies, he became a cop, and I asked him about that. I'm like, is that a thing? And he's like, yeah, that's a thing, and that is true. We designed it to kind of fuck with you, because it was created back in the 1920s and everything, when we first started using it for just trying to get people out of speakeasies and shit like that, and have something we could catch them on. And I was like, oh, okay. Because if you ain't got no evidence, then what's your evidence? Them being drunk wears off, and they're like, exactly. But the field sobriety test will allow us to be able to catch you.
And nowadays, most of the time, I think they just can ultimately rely on the blood test.
Yeah, they'll ultimately rely on that. If they want to be a dickhead, they'll have you do that.
Yeah. I just got the breathalyzer thing. That's where I got the.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that too. Yeah. But yeah, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you sound like a character out of Barrels. You and Tommy would get along well.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, really.
Well, if you wanted to talk to me about 25 years ago, it would have sounded like a plan.
Yeah, really.
I'll be right back. I'm still listening in. I'm just making some coffee.
But yeah, how are you guys? What have you guys been doing? Comics? Any comic stuff you guys been up to, or any new comics you've been reading, or anything like that?
I recently read a crap ton of Moon Knight comics.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, we were gonna do an episode on it, and so I wanted to be able to comment on the comics part
And you've
of
seen the
episode.
show, I assume.
Oh yeah, we did a second episode on the show.
Oh, nice.
It won't be coming out for months, but I read I'm gonna say like 5 volumes of Moon Knight comics.
Damn, so you're pretty well versed on the character, I'd imagine.
I'm not his earlier stuff. Mostly the stuff from like 2000 on.
Okay. He has in. I mean, are we? Can we talk about the characters? It's spoiling stuff.
Oh, sure.
For not, if you haven't seen the show or read the comic, you're waiting to, mute it or skip ahead for like 5-10 minutes or something. Just want to talk about the character for a second. That with him having the multiple personalities, you really get to see that showcased in the comics a lot. Well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. In fact, recently, you know who Jeff Lemire is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he did a run on Moon Knight that kind of retconned some things.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. His retcon was that the story before was that Mark got his DID after combining with Khonshu.
Mm-hmm.
And because Khonshu has 4 aspects, it split Mark's mind into 4 aspects. But in Lemire's run, he takes it all the way back to Mark's childhood and events there, starts the whole thing. So they basically make it come across as if Khonshu chose Mark specifically because his mind was broken already.
You have to wonder if maybe the TV show didn't get inspiration from that run, maybe a little bit.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, they leaned heavy into that run.
Interesting. That is wild. Yeah, that's a great retcon. I like that. It kind of adds more depth to the character.
I think I like the idea of Mark being broken first before Khonshu got there, because I mean you can't take a healthy mind, you know what I mean, that is psychologically healthy, and then just split it into 4 parts.
Not
you know
really.
what I mean? It would seem like that there had to be some brokenness to it already. There had to be some, you know what I mean? He needed something that he could work with that was already there.
Right? It's like you have to have a splint or a mind that's predisposed to being fractured and splintered.
Something like that, yeah. I also read a whole bunch of Predator comic books recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got, again, because we got an episode coming up about that.
I've been reading the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The ORP podcast tends to make me have to do a lot of research on stuff.
That's wild. Yeah, at least you're having fun while you do it. I hope you are.
Oh yeah, I love what I do.
Good, yeah.
And you were gonna say you were reading something?
Oh, I've just been reading a lot of the Army of Darkness comics and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are really fun.
I reviewed some of the Army of Darkness comics. There's also there's a different one. Wasn't it? I want to say it was Ash versus the Army of Darkness.
Oh, the TV show?
No, that's Ash versus the Evil Dead. There was another comic book besides just the Army of Darkness one. There was a second one they put out. It was, I want to say it was like Ash versus the Army of Darkness or something along those lines.
It was just Evil Dead 2.
No, I think you're right. I think there is a comic book called Ash versus Army of the Darkness. I believe you are correct. That is it's one of the Dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Not a very no. It's kind of like a. I assume they took that name because of the TV show, right? It's like Ash vs Evil Dead, and they're like, okay, Ash vs Army of the Darkness.
No.
you
Ash
don't think
versus
so?
Army of the Darkness came out way before Ash versus
Oh,
Evil
really?
Dead. Yeah.
Okay. Just a coincidence, perhaps.
Well, like I remember reviewing those comics way back when I was doing Chico Comics page, and that was well before the show came out.
Okay. Yeah, I think the show was what, like 2015 or something, or I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. I'm gonna be watching the show eventually as well. I just want to read some more of the comic books before I dive into the show. But yeah, that's a good series.
I love the show too. Ash versus Evil Dead is pretty freaking cool. What do you think about the 2013 Evil Dead?
I love it, man. I love it. It too. I just recently rewatched the unrated edition, and
yeah, that's the one I own. That's the best one, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I really liked the darker take on the story.
So dark and it's so gory. Geez.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
I hope you get to see the new one soon. They
don't call me Macabre Michael Nunley on Countless Corpses because I don't like gore.
That's true. That's a fitting name. But yeah, I hope you guys get to see it. I don't think you haven't seen it either, right?
No, I'm gonna wait for it to be on HBO Max.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a nice.
You're talking about the newest movie, right?
Yup.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything for it yet.
I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise yet.
Yeah. I'm the only one I think in the groups who've seen it so far.
I'm not gonna go to a theater again. I don't think. It's not that I'm afraid of like catching something now. I realized that I don't unless it's like a Star Wars movie or something where it really adds to it. I prefer to watch movies at home alone. You know, the power of pause to be able to go to the bathroom is awesome.
I feel like I've become like a theater addict though, man. Like my whole this whole year I feel like I've been living at the movie theater almost every weekend with how many movies have just been coming out. And I've just been so obsessed with it. Like I think for me it's a good time to go hang out with my buddy because he lives about an hour and a half away. So the one thing we do is we always meet up to go see movies. So it's kind of a fun bonding experience that way.
I got a cool question for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What was your most memorable and greatest theater experience?
Ooh, wow. That's a tough one, dude.
I could start with mine. My dad, the very first movie I ever saw in the theater was when my dad took me to see Return of the Jedi. And when I went there, people doing cosplay. Everybody had Star Wars t-shirts on and makeup, and the line actually went from inside the theater around the block, and so that the end of the line met up with the front of the line.
Oh, oh my God, you just unlocked my memory, dude, of my favorite of all movie experience of all time, and that's because it was episode. I want to say episode 3, because I was a little too young for episode 1 to hit that way,
right?
And episode 2, everyone was like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but everyone, episode 3 was the one everyone anticipated as the end of the trilogy. And I remember I was kind of getting a little bit older, and I dressed up in like a cosplay. We went to the midnight screening. I bought my lightsaber. We did the whole thing. Some dude did a backflip off of like the railing in the movie theater. It was such an epic, and I just remember the
little Eddie Vedder for you.
Yeah, really. And it was just like how you described the line wrapping around the theater. I never had that experience again where the line the midnight screening is a thing that's just gone away. We don't have that experience anymore.
I think
some places probably still do it.
Because everything comes out at like 7:00 now. Like all the midnight screenings just come out at 7 or 8 on Thursday. So there's no true midnight screening where everyone has to wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably because all the movie theater people who work there are like, man, fuck this. I want to go home.
Yeah, really.
It's like restaurant people, dog. They gotta go home too.
Exactly, man.
I gotta say that the watching Return of the Jedi, one of the things that was so great about it was the audience.
Yes.
You know, with hearing everybody cheer and shout out and stuff while the movie was going on, it made it really exciting. Was it that way for you when you saw Revenge of the Sith?
Oh yeah.
It was like that with me, and just even episode 1. I remember a lot of people questioning how good it's going to be, and a lot of people thought it was good. And then number 2 came out, and everybody's like, "No, fuck that. Number 1 sucks. Number 2 sucks. Whole trilogy sucks." And I was like, I think I was 10 when I watched the first one, and that's the one I went and saw in theater, and I was like, well, probably never going to watch another Star Wars in theater.
Really?
I'll wait for them all
I
to
had the
come
exact
out.
opposite reaction. I was a kid, so I was like, I had no idea there was any backlash at all until I was
Well, I understood a lot of what the original trilogy was about. It was about like the family coming together after a long time, and depression and war, blah blah blah. You know, like kid wise, I understood it that way. You know, once when like 1 came out and I saw it was aimed towards the adults mainly, but still had some kid stuff in there, I was like, I don't know. This kind of feels like there's too much of a mix of themes that he wants to explore. And I don't know. Either I'm too young or I'm too old, or I don't know. I just don't really care for this one. And I still don't. I mean, yeah, sure, the fight with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul will always be awesome. You know, even as a kid, I thought that was cool. But I don't know, the fight, the space battle kind of like had me a little like, I don't know, that's too much like episode 4, you know, that's a little too much right there. But again, I was 10 years old. That was one of the only times I ever watched that movie. So, but I remember the experience being great. I do remember that.
I thought the only thing I hated about the prequels was Jar Jar Binks.
I could see that. I could see that.
This motherfucker.
For me, it was like I like the prequels, but I don't. For me, it was a lot of. It felt like there was too much over-explaining of things. You know, like there's too many scenes of them talking for 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be a war going on, so why aren't we showing a war going on in the background?
Huh.
Yeah, if you're gonna splice in 5-10 minutes of talking, you need to have some war going on.
That big of it. They were never that bad to me, you know.
I get it. You know, I don't know if it's maybe a generational thing, or I'm not sure, because I know a lot of younger people than me that really like the newest trilogy. I don't give 2 shits about the trilogy.
We haven't even talked about the sequel trilogy. That's like,
if you're talking about me personally, that shows how much I like it, which isn't very much, far less than the prequels.
Did you have a favorite theater experience?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what we're talking about. That's right. Somehow we got
theater experience.
Yeah. What was your most memorable and fun theater experience? Like,
besides that, the only other time I can think of was watching. Shit, was it Crank 2 or a different action movie? It was a Jason Statham movie. I went with one of my buddies and a different friend, and we got that friend high for his first time. And I think that's why I don't remember the movie, because we had more fun outside of the movie. But yeah, he wanted to try smoking and everything. We we're like, all right, no problem, no pressure, and he decided to continue smoking for a bit until we moved to Florida and decided to say, fuck that, not doing it anymore. But
no pressure or anything. I mean, you'd be
yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
No pressure or anything.
No pressure, no pressure, dog. You just better fucking hit this thing. No pressure. But yeah, I think we watched the Crank movie because he was really high and he was laughing so hard. And like, granted, there weren't that many people in the theater in the first place because it's Crank 2. You're obviously there for just the wacky actionness of the movie in the first place. So, man, I'm trying to think. I know there's a scene, I just don't remember it very well, where he was just dying of laughter, and we had to like be like, dude, you got to shut the fuck up.
That's pretty.
Yeah, cool. I've heard those movies are pretty crazy, man.
How about you, Mr. Cranky Roger?
I'd have to say it was probably a birthday party I attended. I don't really remember the movie. If it tells you how memorable that one was, I think it might have been Batman and Robin. I think it might have been Batman and Robin. So that's probably why it's blinking out.
Oh man! Oh,
how could that be your favorite?
Yeah, if you had to see that in theater, man, yeah, I can see why your brain's trying to be like, no, I don't want to remember that.
Because again,
it's like going to therapy. You won't believe the movie I saw.
It's about experience with friends, really.
Right on.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah.
More about the experience in the itself,
Well, that was something similar. I think. I mean, like you notice, Mike, that me and you both described the experience and not necessarily the movie. I think that's kind of the same thing.
That's true. You're right. That is a good point.
Yeah. Right. I could tell you guys about the one time I actually left a movie. I was so disappointed in this movie. I fucking left. And the experience I had with my friends wasn't that good either because they wanted to leave too. We went and saw the Simpson movie when it first came out, like within its first week of being out. And everybody's hyping it up for us. And we're like, all right, this is cool. We'll go ahead and watch it. We're huge fucking Simpsons fans. Most people in our generation, millennials, grew up watching that. So it's like, all right, might as well finally see it. Went and watched it. I left the movie within like fucking 15 minutes. I was done with it. I was like, I'm cool. I don't want to watch this. I'm like, you don't want to watch it? I'm like, no, man, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't think I like animated TV show movies. This is not my thing. And they're like, all right, no problem. And one of my other buddies was like, to be honest, I'm feeling the exact same fucking way. I'll go with them. We're out, guys. And then one after another, we all left. And after asking everybody, like, why did you leave? And we even had to argue this with real theaters about getting our fucking money back within the first 30 minutes of the movie. And they were trying to be like, no, you already paid for it. So anyways, the reason why we all left is me personally, I just didn't like on its jumpingness on how it felt more like the actual Simpsons show than a Simpson movie. I understand later on it gets rid of that aspect to fully jump into the movie. I watched the movie after theaters. I would give it a 3 out of 10. That's my personal opinion. No one else is here. But yeah, I mean, everybody else was the same way. It was too much of a show for a movie, and they didn't like it. Except for our last friend who decided to leave because he actually did like the movie. He just wanted to leave just because to make us feel better, I guess. But we would have just waited for him outside and just been like, all right, how was it?
But Did you watch Beavis and Butthead Do America?
I did, but not in theaters. I was too young to go see that in theaters. That was still when my parents. I think I was 7 or 8, and that was still around the time my parents were watching what I watched like a hawk.
I actually got in trouble with my girlfriend. I guess I don't know. I don't know what her deal was. She got up and left, and I guess she wanted me to follow her, and I was like, I'm going to watch the movie. So, yeah, I totally got in trouble afterwards because I didn't follow her outside. But I love the movie. I'm like, I'm not going to leave in the middle of this movie to go have a talk with you about random things. We could talk after the movie. We could have talked before the movie. Why do we got to do it in the middle of the movie?
Yeah, I totally get that. But she probably just didn't like the movie in the first place.
Right. Well, she should have just let me go with me and my friend. I mean, why? You don't go.
I mean, if that's the case, yeah, she fucking should have in the first place. I don't know of any chicks that really like Beavis and Butthead. I think my fiance does, but I don't know on the scale.
There's a great Kid Cudi album that has Beavis and Butthead on it.
You what?
There's a great Kid Cudi album that has Beavis and Butthead on it. And they come in at the end of the tracks and make some jokes, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think Mike Judge finally sold the rights to it to a different company.
Oh,
they got a new Beavis and Butthead show, so I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay.
Have you seen Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers?
Halloween 6, yeah.
Did you catch the Butthead reference in there?
Huh. No.
When he was looking at she found Danny's coloring, and he had drawn pictures of him killing his whole family, and her boyfriend was like, "That was cool."
Sorry.
Oh, really? That's funny, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, any horror movies you looking forward to this year, Michael?
Well, the only one I know of is Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise. That's the only one I know of that I want to see. But I don't know necessarily what all is coming out.
Let's see. When's the next Scream movie coming out? Is that this year or next year?
I don't know.
Probably next year, because didn't Scream 6 just come out this year?
Isn't that Scream? What's the other one?
If you say there's going to be a new Halloween, I'm gonna throw all that shit out the window.
In it. It's the one that has the Stab series.
That's Scream.
Yeah.
I feel like there was just, what is it? Man,
6 just came out. I mean, even if they're gonna make a 7,
I feel like
it probably won't. We're looking at 2024, I think.
I wonder what I'm thinking about. I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking because did Scream 6 and 7 came out back to back, right? Essentially, like
5 and 6 kind of pretty much did.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I was just thinking of Scream 5 and 6 coming out so close together, I guess.
Yeah, like 1 and 2, because they're meant to mimic each other in certain ways.
All right. Well, if we're gonna bring up Scream, we got to discuss this. Do you have selective films in the franchise that you like? Do you like the whole things? What do you think about the new ones?
I love them all.
I love them all. All right.
Is this towards Scream or any horror series?
The Scream franchise.
Scream franchise? Okay. I haven't seen 5. I don't remember most of 4. I'll go with the first trilogy for me.
That's fair.
Right? So you liked Scream 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Out of the original trilogy, it was by far the weakest, but for closeout, it was okay. I can accept it.
You know, I think my favorite in the franchise is got to be 1 and 2, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Kevin Williamson, the same guy who did some writing on H2O, by the way, when he wrote Scream, the first movie, when he turned in the treatment, it had a second part of it that outlined exactly what he was going to do in Scream 2. Scream 2 was
Yeah,
planned
he made them in the same year of each other.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
Wow.
he was also one of the main writers for Dawson Creek.
Ew. You have to
He's
ruin
all,
it.
ugh.
But if you think about it, that's why his drama scene writing is a little bit better than the horrific ones. I mean, besides, well, no, I think that was Wes Craven who took over a lot of the creativeness for the horrorness to actually make it scary, because he originally wanted it to be what Scary Movie was, just a parody of the film, but it was so goddamn
Scary
good.
Movie came out after Scream.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Okay.
Scream was supposed to be the first real parody movie in a sense.
But it became
In Wes
more of a
Craven's
series.
eyes, because he had already done a bunch of horror movies, and he was like, I want to continue doing it. So this was his way of doing it while being a little bit creative.
A little funny and tongue-in-cheek in some ways. And
that's why you see the Freddy Krueger reference. That's it. Everything's meant to be
and all the
tongue-in-cheek.
rules, you know, the
yes,
rules before that
yes.
become
It's just
he's
so damn effective that people got scared of that shit. I was scared of that shit when I was 8 years old. And watching it on VHS.
The guy stalking someone, just like it's like very creepy.
It was the first real horror movie.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about Ghostface?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're talking.
Okay.
I was getting ready to say, and how the reason why I think a lot of people found it so horrifying was because it was the closest to Earth, literally, we could get. You know, no supernaturalness, no fucking like crazy things, shenanigans going on to like defeat the killer kind of thing. No prophesied child, none of this stupid crap that you see, like he mentioned. Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers, that kind of crap going on. Halloween 3, Hellraiser, you got Friday the 13th, Part 2, Part 5, Part 8. You know, these stupid ways where the killers are coming back and stuff. At least with them, they do keep that creative. I will say that. They tackle on the most, I would say, the most perpetuated type of serial killers there are. Copycats. In the prequels, that's pretty damn real too. You know, there are still. I've actually learned about a few of them that tried redoing Jack the Ripper, and it's like that was probably a once in a world type of thing.
As someone who studies serial killers, I'm going to say you're wrong.
What do you mean?
For what?
There are more than one. Copycats aren't copycats or killers like that are not uncommon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I liked about the Scream sequels, is that it's more copycat killers were those involved with the original murders. So that's what I like. It's still real in that. I'm not saying they're like common, you know, like a common cat or something like that. No, I understand, because serial killers within themselves are rare in occurrence in a sense. They're more often what we want to think, but they're not that often. If that makes sense.
Statistically speaking, there are on average about 200 serial killers operating in this country.
That makes sense, but are you talking every single year? Right.
Well, this was a statistic that I read, I want to say, in like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, and police forces probably not within the past 5. I was going to say 15, but within the past 5 years, probably a lot of the technology has slowed down. I could see that being fairly accurate. Yeah, still. If it's early 2000s.
This is yeah. I mean, statistics alone. I mean, it's 200 too many. Let's just say that.
Yes, but here's the thing. Also, if there's 200 just inside of America, imagine the rest of the world.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, let's put it this way: have you guys heard about the guy
movie coming out later this year?
A new Saw movie? No thanks.
Really?
No thanks.
Is it a continuation of Spiral or of Saw?
It's called Saw X.
So a combination of both.
Maybe.
That's most likely the gimmick.
I gotta say, with Spiral, the movie itself was okay, but the thing that really just kind of gets in my craw about it is the guy's voice. You know, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. John, what was his name?
I just call him Jigsaw.
All right, whatever. Jigsaw had a very he had a creepy voice. It was uncomfortable to listen to it. Despite not yelling or anything, it was intimidating to hear his voice. And then you hear Spiral talk, and he sounds like I don't know, a scrawny little nerd or something. You don't get that intimidating feeling from his voice like you did with John.
Well, if you think about it, his natural voice already has that, so I can kind of see that. That's a good play. That's a good observation, because I didn't think about that. Because if you really want to look at it, John Kramer's Jigsaw or Billy didn't have like the problems that he was having. It had the intimidation factor. It was creepy. And then now with the Billy 2.0, you can say, or the new Jigsaw, it doesn't have any of that intimidation, but a lot of people are still creeped out because it's a copycat in a sense. So they understand, like, oh fuck, we're in some major shit right now. But when you look at Kramer and then the guy in their real lives, they're the exact opposite of what they are as Jigsaw. In a sense, or what Billy portrays them as. Where you're saying first Billy was intimidating, he was creepy, newest one, nah, man. If you see the real guy in real life, yeah, you'd probably be a little intimidated seeing him coming at you in a dark alley.
Now,
John Kramer, probably not.
The one I like was, I thought Jigsaw was actually better than Spiral.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is Spiral and which one's Jigsaw?
Spiral is the new one with Chris Rock, and then Jigsaw is the one that came out right before that one, or the one that came out before that one.
Okay, because that's the one I'm thinking of with the Billy 2.0.
Oh, okay.
Spiral, I've watched a lot of stuff for it. I probably have to actually watch it to give it a fair review, but from what I've seen so far, I probably wouldn't be into it.
Now, did you
Same
see
thing with
Jigsaw,
Jigsaw.
Michael?
What?
Did you see the movie Jigsaw?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what he was talking about.
I was talking about Spiral.
Yeah, no, you said Spiral. That's yeah.
Yeah.
And I was talking about I was saying that I think Jigsaw is better than Spiral, and I didn't hear your what you thought though.
Well, I'm gonna say so. I might watch Jigsaw again. I'm never gonna watch Spiral again.
See, here's my question for both of you: what is the reason that you came to those?
What do you mean?
I've been a horror junkie since I was 8 years old.
Oh, I've always watched the Saw movies since growing up. Those are like one of the few horror franchises I've actually seen since I was younger.
Right. I also really like the gory stuff. I think horror movies should make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, they are, and they definitely do that. And I think the first one, the plot twist and the plotting and everything in the first one is so masterful. So
well, I mean, movie. you got James Wan actually involved in the story process there too. You notice as after the first one, he started backing off and getting farther and farther away from the series.
Well, if you look at it, he probably saw the writing on the wall after number 2, and he went, "Yeah, but I kind of want to do other things, so I'm gonna go work on this ghost story."
Fast and the Furious movie or 5.
He did 7. I'm a big James Wan fan.
That's right. You're right. It was that. Yeah. That and number 7 is a great one.
Right. I also really liked his Aquaman.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did that. Yeah.
But
I forgot about that too. I forgot he did a superhero movie.
I gotta bounce out of here, guys.
Well, hey man, it was good talking to you, man. Matt,
yeah.
you're on camera, I think. Let me turn your camera off there for you.
I didn't realize that. I know I turned it on for a quick second. You all could see my beautiful face.
I'm gonna ban you from the studio for that one.
Oh god damn it! All right, have a good one though, Mike. If he's still here.
I'll catch you guys later.
Thank you, dude. But we can go for maybe another, 15, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. This is pretty nice hanging out.
I gotta get ready. I'm heading out to Riverbank.
Oh yeah, that movie.
Yeah, I'm going to see the new Fast and Furious.
They just need to let those movies die.
No, man. They are letting them die, but this is the final movie, man. It's just here's the thing. It's the final movie is a trilogy. Vin Diesel announced at the Venice Cannes Film Festival at the premiere of the Fast 10. He said, "Oh yeah, Fast 10 is now a trilogy."
So there's going to be part 1, part 2, part 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the end. It's not the final movie. Like me and Alicia have talked about this, and me and you have talked about this because the whole final season, part 5.
It's the new marketing strategy, dude. You can. It's like because saying something is the final season or final movie, like that's a big way to draw in a lot of buzz. So, but now you can say it years in advance of your final movie or your show. You can be like, yeah, this is the final one, part 1, and then there's gonna be a part 2 and a part 3 and maybe a part 4 and
yeah, like kind of how you put in maybe part 4,
right? Yeah. It's like it's like, and everybody's doing it now. Like I'm seeing it everywhere. The Walking Dead did it for the final season. They had 3 parts.
Man. And you want to know who
their final season?
You want to know who did this? As far as I can personally tell, fucking Attack on Titan.
Were they the first?
They were the first series that I know of that did an animated series or something to do with film and went, this is the final season, but it's part 1. And I was like, okay, no, they're going to drag this out as long as they fucking can.
Yeah.
Twilight was first, actually.
What's that?
Wait, what was?
Twilight did that.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about
Goddamn Twilight. No wonder I forgot. I hated that shit.
That's right. The Final Dawn Part 1 and 2. I forgot about that shit.
Yeah, and then Hunger Games did it right after it. That's right.
Yeah. That's right. And then
thank you for that, Matt. Thank you.
It's just becoming more normalized, I think.
Because, it became mainstay because people didn't fucking just burn it to the ground when it first started happening. Yeah, all right, that's fine.
They rewarded it. And so then the marketing people were like, oh, this works. We can keep doing this. It's kind of like how mattress stores are always saying they're going out of sale or whatever it is. They're like, we're closing down. Come get the sale this weekend. And you see that every weekend.
They actually made a joke of that in an Adam Sandler movie.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, a Middle Eastern guy has a shop that's called Going Out of Business. And he's not really going out of business. It's just marketing.
It's just called that.
Everyone goes there because they think it's going out of business.
That's amazing.
They're getting great deals.
It's genius.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing tonight. Seeing Fast X.
Part 1. Yeah, that's the whole thing. To me, like I was okay with them having 10 movies. Like, okay, fine. Please just fucking end it soon. And then 10 was announced. I was like, finally we're gonna have an end. And then you're like, oh yeah, no, it like there's like 3 other parts.
So now they're not only going to be doing the newest, tactic, but they're also using the tried and true other marketing strategy that we see these companies all the time which is spin-offs. They're what's coming out with spin-offs.
Yeah, I know what the root cause of this new trend.
Huh?
Halloween.
Really?
Yeah,
I could
got
see it.
Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. Because they're all supposed to be telling the story about the last Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, final showdown stuff, and what they could have done is just one movie. That was just it. Halloween Kills was just float. That's why H2O is a better movie.
Yeah, they're so true.
I still don't understand why they decided to come out with 2 other movies after Halloween.
There was, especially the third one was so bad.
I watched the 2018 remake or reboot or whatever the fuck you want to call it now, requel or whatever they call it. I was like, yeah, I probably won't watch the others.
John Carpenter intended for Halloween 2 to be my last Michael Myers movie.
Yeah, the rest were supposed to be like
that's why.
the third movie, Season of the Witch, where it turned into an anthology story.
Season of Witch is a weird ass movie.
Which
it is a total 80s movie in my opinion. It is a real 80s movie, and I think it was made 83, 84, right? Don't quote me on that one.
I could feel it, man. I could feel it. But yeah, do you guys want to start wrapping up here in shortly? We're thinking about maybe an hour for the new format. I think we talked about earlier. We just hit the hour mark now.
That's
pretty good.
Good idea.
Pretty good return to form. I'm really excited about being able to bring these back weekly. Like we used to do bi-weekly, but even then that was hard to maintain because like it's hard to remember. Okay, is it this week or is it next week? And you're having to constantly do that. It's like okay, if you can just do it every week, it's a little easier to know when to expect it. So yeah, hopefully we'll be bringing, like I said on the beginning, I hope to bring on more of the Wikid creators in the future, and also I hope to bring on guests. So if you guys are watching out there and you think like you might want to just come hang out and talk about your comic, talk about whatever you have on your mind, come hang out with us. Send us a DM, let us know. We can see about getting you on a future episode here. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, I forgot to do plugs for earlier people. I think let's see, Michael, right? So Michael was on earlier. Michael Nunnally. You can find him on Twitter. Omniverse Comics. There's also Revelation Comics, and then also at Nunnally Mike on Twitter as well there. And then can you guys throw up your plugs here for us?
Yeah, mine is Twitter, MB_Zulos SULOS.
Thank you.
Mine is @MattTren on Twitter. Newly verified, but not taking myself too seriously.
I love to hear it. Well, excellent. Well, thank you guys so much, and we will hopefully have you guys on a future episode. And everyone go check out their Twitter, and I appreciate everyone who's watching live and everyone who's watching on the replay as well. Thank you guys so much. We're really excited to be back. Pardon our deaths, we're a little bit rusty, but we're hoping to get back into the flow of things. So thank you again, guys. We'll see you on a future episode of the Wikid Weekend Podcast. Take care, everyone. Bye.
There you guys.
Have a great one.